Welcome back. A reminder of your top story. The High Court in Johannesburg has granted President Cyril Ramaphosa an interdict. He wanted to halt a private prosecution bid against him brought by former President Jacob Zuma. Judge Roland Sutherland made the ruling a short while ago.
As to the balance of convenience, the respondent suffers no harm if there is a delay in the private prosecution in order to debate the controversies alluded to in this judgment. As mentioned earlier, the trial of the alleged principal offenders has yet to begin. Their conviction is a necessary condition for criminal liability by the applicant. The costs of this application were hotly debated. However, it is unnecessary for us in this urgent hearing to address that question, which shall be reserved for a decision at the hearing of the main case. It is for these reasons that an order will issue in the following terms. 1. The application is urgent and the ordinary forms and service provided for in the Uniform Rules of Court are dispensed with. 2. Pending the final determination of Part B, the first respondent is interdicted from taking any further steps to give effect to the Nolly Prosecuee certificates of 21 November 2022 and 6 June 2022, and the summonses issued by the Registrar on the 15th and 21st of December 2022, or to pursue the private prosecution under case number 59772 of 2022 against the applicant in any way. 3. The costs occasioned by this urgent application shall be reserved for decision at the hearing of Part B of this case. 4. The parties' representatives are directed to immediately approach the office of the Deputy Judge President Johannesburg to arrange a case management meeting to set an agreed date for the hearing of Part B. We hand down this judgment, which will be uploaded online within the hour and emailed to such parties as who require that. Court will adjourn.
Let's take you to Mpumalanga now. The province is seeing a rise in political killings. Several politicians and business leaders have been assassinated in recent months. The latest being Councillor Sibonelo Mthembu, who was killed on Friday with a friend. Before that, ANC Regional Deputy Chairperson Muzi Manyati was killed in Mkhondo back in November. Siphamandla Goge is in Mkhondo for us this morning and joins us with the very latest. Siphamandla, yet another killing of a politician. What more do we know about this particular murder of Mr. Mthembu?
The information that has been shared by the police in Mpumalanga is that on Friday night, Councillor Sibonelo Mthembu and his two friends were gunned down. They died. It is reported that one person was able to flee the scene and survive the attack. So in total, 3 people died, including the councillor and his 2 friends. Now, police leadership here in Mpumalanga and nationally has just come to Mkhondo to basically get a briefing and meet with the family members of the deceased persons. In this case, I'm talking about the presence of the Police Minister, General Begicele, his deputy, Mr. Castle Matale, as well as National Police Commissioner, General Fani Masemula, and the Premier of Mpumalanga, Refilwe Mtsweni Tsipane. All of them are meeting inside this police facility. They are being briefed at this stage, and we expect to get more information from them and also to ask them about the pace of the investigations, because there have been concerns about a number of murder cases in this province of Mpumalanga that involves community activists, leaders, and just political leaders or councillors that have been gunned down in recent months, but nothing much has been reported. So community members of this ward where this incident happened are of the view that police need to speed up their investigations, and they are hoping that by the presence and the arrival of the minister here and his team from the national office, at least they will give them the latest information, which is positive in this regard. Remember, when the incident happened on Friday, police said they were following leads, so by now at least they must have something positive to report. But other people will not be so hopeful, even though cases differ in terms of circumstances around them, because the killing of Mr. Manyati in November, there were concerns that despite that happening in full view of other people at a petrol station, nothing much was ever done. There's been no arrest in that regard. That's the information that we were told. So in this case, locals are hoping that at least there will be some movements. But a number of murder cases in this province remain unsolved. There have been concerns about what is perceived to be the rise in the killings of political activists, community leaders, as well as politicians.
We've seen over the years there's been apprehension by the police to label these as political killings, particularly when it comes to the Minister Goge himself. He has consistently stated that they're killings and should be dealt with as such, but there's generally been apprehension to label them as killings or political killings in this respect.
Well, it has been an ongoing debate. How to characterize them? To be fair, let's be realistic. In some cases that I've covered, it has turned out that some of those killings have got nothing to do with politics. In other provinces, and in this province of Mpumalanga, you would find that when a community leader, an activist or a politician is gunned down, the immediate suspect, or rather what is suspected to be the motive, is always linked to politics, allegedly. But in some instances and in some cases, it does turn out that it's got nothing to do with politics. So it's really not wise to speculate at this point, but rather wait for the police to conclude their investigations and come up with a report that will paint a picture about what could have been the motive, or rather the motive behind the killing of the three men. But generally speaking, when such incidents happen, people tend to label them political killings. But when police investigate, they don't label them as such. They take into account that a person who may have been killed is someone who may have been involved in politics, but they register that as a crime murder case that they investigate. The motive is determined afterwards when they continue with their investigations. So even in this case, that's the posture that the police have taken to say, as a matter of principle and as a way they work, they are investigating three murder cases, and what could have been the motive will be basically revealed by their investigations moving forward. We hope by the end of the day there will be some positive news regarding this incident in terms of the alleged perpetrators, but we will put those questions to the leadership of the SAPS, including Minister Goge himself, because he has raised a concern about violent crime in South Africa. But raising a concern alone is not an issue. It's his job with his collective leadership to deal decisively with violent crime in South Africa.